Ashley Maloney swings at the first pitch and sends it out of play for strike one. She leads the team with 78 hits on the season, had 3 yesterday in the opener against Eastern Illinois. Texas second in Division I in batting average at .358. By the way, this is the last time I think I can say this in the next few minutes. It is not quite 90 degrees,
oh.
but it soon will be here in Austin at first pitch. There's a strike, and once again, Lauren Durkowski throwing strikes.
That was one of the things she did so well in yesterday's ball game against UCF. It felt like the UCF batters were falling behind in the count, 0-1, 0-2, practically every single at bat when they were facing Durkowski.
Maloney sends it out of play. 79% of her pitches thrown for strikes yesterday.
And it wasn't just one pitch either. The curveball was going in there for strikes. The rise ball was going in there for strikes. The changeup especially was being pumped in there for strikes. You almost have to go up there and look for one of those pitches because you know that she's going to bring him right on in there.
Another 0-2. And Maloney, another good at-bat from Ashton Maloney. 79th hit of the season. She had fallen behind, but she's a good 2-strike hitter, and she gets things started against Michigan.
When you get ahead in the count, that's when you can start to get batters to swing at a bunch of different pitches, and all 4 of her strikeouts yesterday came off of the changeup. She was able to get ahead and then drop in this changeup, even throwing 3 changeups in a row and a strikeout to Izzy Mertez to end the ball game yesterday.
So they have just called Ashton Maloney out. She made her way down the first base, and the umpires, our plate umpire today, Chelsea Clark, came back from behind the plate and gave the out signal. So we'll backtrack and see what happened here.
Now the important part here too is that she was in a 2-strike count. So let's see where that left foot is when it crosses, when she makes contact, just barely out of the box, not by a lot. But since she had 2 strikes, that's where it goes down as an out. You don't see that called too often. We haven't seen that called very often all year long, really. That might be one of the first times that I've seen it called all year.
That's why Madison Shipman, back in her playing days, not that you stepped out of the box often, you would, if you were a slapper, you would have wiped out that chalk
for sure,
line
absolutely.
early, so it's nice and sharp right now. Henry's playing well. That's a popped up bunt. And they say she held on to it long enough. Lily Valamont back behind the plate for an out, 2 away.
We saw Caden Henry lay down a bunt in yesterday's ball game as well, just gets a little bit too far underneath it on this bunt.
So officially on the scorecard, it's very busy so far for Lily Valamont because the first out goes down as 2 unassisted with Maloney being out of the box, and now Henry with the pop-up at the plate. And now bring up Mia Scott. Scott at a team best 436 on the season, first team all-conference selection in the SEC. In on the hands, it's going to drop in just barely. I think that is a short hop, and Scott, big turn at first base. Good effort by Ellie Sealer on the backhand, but looked pretty clear that that hit the turf, although we're going to have a little conversation here from Bonnie Thole, the Michigan head coach.
Yeah, Ellie Sealer trying to sell it on this one. Definitely looks like it hits the ground. Yeah, for sure hits the ground before it goes into her glove. Like the effort, though, going up, showing the glove to see if she could get the call on that one.
So Bonnie Thole came out to talk to the home plate umpire. Sometimes it's just buying a little time to get the word from the dugout whether to use one of your 2 challenges. Here is Reese Atwood. Another first pitch strike from Durkowski, something she made a habit of doing yesterday in the win against UCF. Atwood 4 for 4, 5 runs batted in the win yesterday, raising her career RBI total to a program record 209. They knocked off top seed Oregon 5-0. They beat the 12th seed Purdue at Purdue 4-2 and then shut out the number 2 seed UCLA 2-0 to secure the automatic berth. So interesting defense here for Texas against Indy Langford.
Yeah, Indiana Langford is one of those triple threat lefties. She'll drop a bunch, she'll slap in, she'll hit away. So they're bringing in that right fielder into the infield, shifted towards the left side of the infield especially. And with that, Tegan Cavan looks like she's going to stay on the outside part of the plate to try to funnel that ball to the left side of the field.
Langford leading the team in hitting at .404, was 0 for 2 with a walk in game 1 of the tournament. There's a strike. 2-1 from Tegan Cavan. Madison talked about it at the top. Struggles for Cavan lately. Her last 5 appearances, 14 innings pitched. She's given up 21 earned runs. What does she have here today? She's down in the count 3-1.
See her continuing to work that rise ball on the outer half. One of the things I'm going to be tracking is the location of that rise ball. She does throw it on different planes, but you like to see that late bite up in the zone that she has with that tight spin along with the velocity working up and outside of the strike zone.
Swing and a miss by Langford. The count goes full to 3-2.
Prime example on that pitch right there. You could see where Langford, where her barrel was swinging underneath that pitch. That tells me that it's got good jump up in the zone.
Langford gets a piece. Langford, first team selection in the Big Ten this season. Real strong season, a bounce back season, hit .283 last year, comes in above .400 here on day 2 of the NCAA tournament. Another 3-2 from Cavan. This is what both leadoff hitters do so well for these two teams. They'll foul off a bunch of pitches, they'll see a lot of pitches, and as a result, their teammates see a lot of what the pitchers in the circle on the other team have to offer.
Especially when you get into a 2-strike count, you want to try to battle, be as productive as you possibly can. Yes, you want to hit, but you want to make the pitcher work out there in the first batter of the ball game.
8th pitch of the at-bat, and it's a leadoff walk for Langford.
When Tegan Cavan's at her best, she's able to tunnel a couple of different pitches. She's well known for that rise ball. That's the pitch that we've been talking about, but she'll also work the drop ball in the bottom part of the zone, and what makes it so effective to batters is coming out of the hand looks like the same pitch, and by the time you decide to swing, that's when you realize, does it have the downward spin, does it have the upspin, because both of them are coming in about 69 to 70 miles per hour.
Conway swings at the first pitch and skies it to center field. That's where Caden Henry is to put it away for out number 1. So the dangerous Conway is retired, leading the team in home runs and RBI.
You're going to see a lot of those fly ball outs along with the swing and miss on both the changeup and the rise ball. That rise ball, drop ball combination, but because of the velocity that she brings consistently, that's where she gets batters to make really quick decisions because of how fast it's getting on them.
Strike 1 to the freshman. Lauren puts 2 for 3 with a home run, couple of RBI. That big hit in the 6th inning yesterday to put Michigan in front against UCF. Her 14th home run of the season. Impact freshman for this Michigan team. Down to the count 0-2. Cavan with 188 strikeouts and 151 innings of work. That misses for a ball. It's 1-2. Two and two.
It's a good spot in a 2-strike count, especially against somebody like Putz that has so much pop up at the plate, working a little bit of run on that rise ball too, so it's going to run away from the barrel of the lefties.
Putz second on this Michigan team in hitting on the season, and this is blooped out to center field, and he'll drop in for another hit. The 3rd of the tournament for the freshman, and Michigan has 2 on with 1 out here in the 1st.
After that rise ball away, Tegan Cavan comes back with a pitch low and inside. This is another one of those rise balls. Looked like it was supposed to be in tighter on the hands, but because of that last-minute run on it, that's where Putz is able to get just a little bit of barrel, enough to drive it and drop it out into center field.
I'll bring up the sophomore right fielder, Ella Stevenson, who hit a home run yesterday. Takes ball 1 from Cavan. Stevenson at .344 on the season. 2 for 3 yesterday with that homer.
That home run that Stevenson hit yesterday was on a rise ball that was practically at the bill of her helmet. She took a big hack at a pitch up in the zone.
And the wind is blowing out to left, about 10 miles an hour, so it's a little brisk. Could help the hitters here today. 2-1, very warm day. So you think on a day like today, the ball would carry a little bit farther as well, as the temps will climb into the 90s. 1-2 pitch. That's going to be out of play. Michigan as a team with 66 home runs on the season. Stevenson with 9 of them after this swing yesterday.
You see just how high up in the zone this rise ball from Isa Vega out there in the circle, tailing away from her a little bit, gets barrel around it and smokes it out to left field.
Kavan runs inside to get the strikeout, 2 down.
That last pitch right there looks like the first drop ball that we have seen from Tegan Kavan in this game. 71 miles per hour, and again, you're geared up for that high velocity, but you're anticipating that the pitch is going to work up in the zone, and instead it works down on the zone. Great depth on that drop ball, and the first strikeout of the day for Kavan.
Here's Lily Valamont. Takes ball 1. Valamont, sophomore from Trenton, Michigan, 2-year starter at the catcher's position. 0 for 3 yesterday in game 1 of the Austin Regional. 2-0. Well, if you're Michigan, you want to do all you can to make Kavan work here in the heat. Obviously, Texas used to the heat. This is extreme for May. All the Texans told us it's not normally like this in May. This is 10 to 15 degrees hotter than what they normally have this time of year.
Well, and it was even hotter earlier this week, up over 100. Oh, there it is. It just keeps on moving to the right.
That's our in the sun temp down by the Michigan. We have two temp gauges. This is going to be a bloop back behind third base. Here comes Langford around to score, and Michigan gets the first run of the game. Valamont's first hit of the tournament, a 2-out single, 1-0 Wolverines.
Not a ton of hard contact from Michigan in this inning, but they're doing whatever they can to get enough barrel on these pitches to find space out in the grass. And Valamont, this is a rise ball in on the hand. She gets jammed up on it, but she gets that last bit of extension there to drop it over the head of Mia Scott at third base and out into left field to give the Wolverines the lead in the bottom of the first.
Michigan has been just a great 2-out hitting team. 4 of their 5 runs in the tournament so far have come with 2 outs.
And a lot of it, I believe, has to do with their process-oriented mindset, sticking to the process, not letting the moment get too big for them, not going for the home run when they step up to the batter's box, but truly thinking one pitch and one game at a time.
Bonnie Thole's team didn't have a lead in game 1 until the 6th inning yesterday. They get a lead here in the first inning, playing at Texas today.
Coach said that was part of the mindset, too, going into that Big Ten tournament. A one-game season. You're just focusing on the opponent at hand.
2-0.
Not thinking about the next day, not thinking about the next game, but just executing the game plan, passing the bat along when you're up to the plate, and just finding a way to get the job done.
Senior Ellie Sealer at the plate, 0 for 3 yesterday. 2-1, swinging at the 2-0, taking a big cut. Kavan's last outing was at the SEC tournament in Athens against Ole Miss. Texas had comfortable lead in that game, but then Ole Miss went to work against Kavan. That's popped up and out of play. Ended up giving up 6 earned runs, but as you touched on before, it wasn't like there was a 2 and you get to those elimination games. Anything can happen. And that's what makes Saturday so exciting. Wall-to-wall softball at all 16 sites. That is crushed to left. Over everything, Katie Stewart ties it at 1.
Katie Stewart has one of those swings where it's just effortless power. The way that the ball comes off of the bat, she hit a couple yesterday that were 70+ miles per hour off of the bat, and she got every bit of that pitch and then some. This is a 1-0 count, so she is ready to swing. Looks like a rise ball up and inside. Try to tie her up on the hands. She knows it immediately. As soon as that ball leaves her bat, that thing is heading towards the building out beyond the left field wall.
I thought the windows on the first floor were in jeopardy, and we just got the tail of the tape, Madison. 269 feet.
A moonshot, an absolute moonshot off of the bat of Katie Stewart.
14th of the season for the sophomore. Jolie Mitchell with a ground ball to Maddie Erickson at third. Low throw handled by Maddie Rainey. Did we catch the building here? It went over the horn blowers and left.
Does it hit the building?
No.
Oh, almost got a car. Yeah, it's a one-hopper off the building. That's what we're going to call that one.
Oh, here we go. Oh, look out. Moving traffic. Yeah, that's...
right into the plants.
Yeah,
one hop off the brick.
Yep. Respect the landscaping, sir.
I don't think she needed any wind to assist her on that one.
If the wind was blowing in, that thing was still going to travel. All right.
And now you got the ball.
Katie Simmons at the plate for Texas with one down. Home run number 74 for Texas as a team this season. Stewart goes deep for a 14th time. She had 13 home runs last season as a freshman. Simmons out of play. It's 1-2.
I like the aggressiveness, too, by Katie Stewart, knowing that Drakowski has been pumping in strikes. She fell behind 1-0, so it almost looked like she was being even more aggressive in that hitter's count. Got something that she could get barrel on, and she sure did.
You see hitting coach Steve Singleton in the background there, shouting some instructions to Simmons. Whatever he said worked out. This is hit well, but it's going to be caught by the right fielder Stevenson, 2 down. As we mentioned, outstanding hitting team, Madison, second in Division I in average at 358, 74 home runs, 1 through 6 in this lineup. Yesterday against Eastern Illinois, 13 of 19 with 9 runs scored and 9 runs batted in.
So much depth in this order, too, but you see a lot of speed, a lot of power, a lot of consistency. Somebody like Mia Scott, who seems like she never strikes out up at the plate. Just 7 strikeouts for Mia Scott on the season. It's just such a tough lineup to navigate. And with the different swings in there, too, you've got some swings that are tailor-made for pitches up in the zone. You've got some swings that are really good at pitches down in the zone. Then you have somebody like Reese Atwood, who seems to come through in the clutch for this team whenever they need a big hit.
Here's Leanne Good. Hard shots. Foul. This will be a big plus for Texas, too, to help when it comes to offense. The pitching staff that's trying to find their way a little bit here in the NCAA tournament. I think that's the best way to put it.
And when the offense is putting up runs, you know that gives your pitching staff a ton of confidence.
And if Mike White's able to get something from the bottom third of this lineup and turn that lineup over to Maloney and Henry and Scott, Texas would be pretty unstoppable at the plate. And it just feels like they're going to need to score a lot of runs here if they're going to make a deep tournament run. 1-2, the count to Good. Ground ball to the shortstop, Fantucci there, 2 down. Oh, that's 3. Erickson quickly 1 down here in the second. If I asked you, Madison Shipman, who will be raising the trophy in Oklahoma City at the end of the Champ Series this year, I don't know if you could narrow it down to how many teams could you narrow it down to right now? 7, 8?
Yeah, but I think that's what makes it so exciting. Yeah. There just seems to be so much parity in the game this year, even looking at how many different #1 ranked teams we've seen throughout the regular season. 4 different teams ranked #1 at different points in the season. Texas being one of those teams, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Just feels like on any given weekend, it could be anybody's ball game, and that's what makes it so much fun once we get to the postseason. What sort of fireworks are we going to see? What sort of stars are going to emerge in the postseason? I still think it's going to come down to who has the hot hand in the circle.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look at Texas. If they can get their pitching to match their hitting, that's a team you can say, well, they're going to go back to the Champ Series for a third time in the last 4 years. Oklahoma has been one of the top stories all year long. So many new faces on that team, but they have just reloaded. I mean, I looked at that LSU team like, oh, that's a team. They've got the pitching and the hitting, and then they get stunned in game number 1 of the NCAA tournament. Double elimination, of course, but so much can happen when you get to this point of so many teams being so equally matched. Kavan gets the strikeout. Ramey retired, 2 down.
Back-to-back changeups there from Tegan Kavan. You're just seeing the depth that she has on that pitch, and you're geared up for 70-plus miles per hour when she's dropping this one in at 57, and the way that she's able to locate it in the bottom part of the zone. There might be a part of you as a hitter that thinks maybe that's the drop ball that's coming out, and by the time you decide to swing, you're well out in front of that off speed.
Here's the number 9 hitter, shortstop Avery Fantucci, making her 9th straight start at shortstop. That was a change for Michigan. They had Ella McVeigh at short, and they just needed to tighten things up defensively. It's a good defensive team, Michigan Wolverines, and Fantucci has been a plus at shortstop. Team 13th in Division I when it comes to fielding percentage, and Fantucci is giving them the range, giving them a little arm, and really anything she can provide at the plate would be a bonus right now.
We saw that defense come up big even in yesterday's ball game too, even going back to the Big Ten tournament. A lot of diving catches that were made by this Michigan defense. Yesterday it was Janisa Conway throwing out somebody at the plate from center field. Just those little things that add up to big moments when it comes time for regionals.
Two and 1 the count to the number 9 hitter, Fantucci. Kavan struck out 2 in the first. She has a strikeout here in the second. You can see Mike sweating, standing in the heat. They had to sweat it out last year in that super regional round against Texas A&M to make it to Oklahoma City. That slapped foul by Katie Bennett leading off the third here for Texas. But like you mentioned before, at this time of year, you get a team that it just starts to click. You build some momentum. It's what's happening with Michigan in the postseason as they made their run, going 4-0 in the Big Ten tournament and picked up a win, knocking off UCF in game 1 here of the NCAA tournament. You get that run going, how long can you sustain it is the question.
And Michigan was the 8th seed going into that Big Ten tournament last week. What was really impressive about a couple of those wins too, they shut out Oregon and they shut out UCLA, and both of those teams had swept Michigan earlier in the season. And it's really difficult to have to play a team 4 different times within the year, but then to go out there and shut out both of those teams that have very good offenses just shows you what type of softball Michigan's been playing at the end of the year.
That slap foul by Bennett. Do we have a good catch?
We've got a great catch down in the
dugout
bullpen.
Catch.
We've got a wonderful catch down in the bullpen.
Bullpen catch, rather. Yes, Madison. Yeah.
Good drop step, too. Initial read on the line drive down in the bullpen. You got to avoid the netting and the pole, too.
It's just next level analysis on foul ball catching by Madison Shipman. That's going to take a funny bounce and go off the shoulder of Erickson. So Bennett's going to be safe leading off for Texas here in the third.
Katie Bennett had some struggles towards the end of the regular season, but she's been doing a nice job of putting the ball in play and making things happen. And you're right, Eric, it's this second hop that just rolls up a little bit on Maddie Erickson. She gets kind of caught in between on that mid-hop, and that misplay allows Bennett to reach base safely and now flips it over to the top of the Texas order.
For Ashton Maloney, it has scored an error on Erickson at third. First error of the tournament committed by the Michigan defense. Just to clear up from the first inning, Maloney, it goes into the books as a strikeout because she stepped out of the box, with 2 strikes, so it was not 2 unassisted. It was a strikeout for Lauren Drakowski. There goes the runner. The throw was on the shortstop side, but a good tag by Fantucci with the reach. Let's see if Bennett is going to leave the bag. Yep, she will. I think there's going to be a challenge here. Mike White just checking to see if there should be. And we'll play on.
9 stolen bases on the season for Bennett before this one. Looks like a really nice tag by Fantucci, too. Definitely no obstruction on that play. Swipes the hand down. Does she get the tag there? It was very close at second base.
Maloney with foul tip. One, two to Maloney. Lays off. Check swing. Let's go back to that play. Is this worth a challenge here on this caught stealing?
Yeah, I want to take another look at it here. Smart by Bennett to go to the backside of the base. No, I think she gets it right on the top of the hand. I think that's a great call.
Jim Bertuzzi, our umpire at second base. Maloney with a little tap to second, and with her speed, she's going to beat it out. Langford tried to get there, but Ashton Maloney is halfway down the line in a blink.
And with a slapper up, too, you're going to almost anticipate that that ball's going to be hit to the left side of the infield. But when there's an off-speed pitch that comes in, that's where the slappers can adjust, get their barrel around those pitches just a little bit more. And because she pulls it to the right side, not much that Indy Langford can do on that with the speed of Maloney.
So officially now her 79th hit. Looked like she had it leading off the first inning for Texas. But was called out. And here's Caden Henry. Popped out to the catcher her first time. Ball 1. Henry, second team all-conference selection in the SEC. 70 hits on the season, so trying to keep up with Maloney. Well, that's hard to do. This is hit well to left, and it is carrying, drifting back a Sealer. Track, wall, off her glove. Maloney had to hold up. She'll be held at third base. And into second is Henry with a double. Second and third, 1 out for the Longhorns.
The versatility of Caden Henry up at the plate. We've seen her drop a bunt in this regional, but she's also got a lot of pop in her bat. This is the 10th double on the season for Caden Henry. A rise ball up and away. She gets barrel underneath this one, and it's the backspin that she's able to create on this fly ball out to left field that allows it to keep on carrying all the way out to the wall. Just over the head of Sealer in left field, bounces off the wall. Good backup there by Janisa Conway to be there when that ball bounced off of the wall. But now 2 runners over in scoring position for the Longhorns with just 1 away.
That backup by Conway prevented a run from scoring for Texas because Mike White saw that. He held the runner at third, Maloney. So second and third. And conversation in the circle as Bonnie Thole has gone out to talk to her battery and her infield. And Texas will have a conversation as well. While they chat, I can tell you that our next Stanley Cup playoff game is tonight. Game 6, Jets and Stars, Western Conference semifinal, 8 Eastern time on ABC and ESPN+. Dallas trying to close out the series. Winnipeg hung tough Thursday night, getting a shutout win. You'll see that tonight, 8 Eastern on ABC. Ball 1 to Mia Scott. Scott singled in the first. 2-0. Mia's been a doubles machine in her career. 55 career doubles for the senior. There's a strike. It's 2-1. In on the hands, popped up, foul ground, drifting over is Erickson. Big out for Jerkowski and Michigan, 2 down.
Using that effective velocity too with that changeup that she pumped in the 2-0 count to get the first strike of the at-bat, and then works that rise ball, that high velocity rise ball in on the hands. Mia Scott tries to go after it, but gets jammed up, and a fly ball in foul territory, now 2 away.
Reese Atwood, hitting .455 with runners in scoring position this year, steps in with 2 down and runners on second and third, and takes ball 1. Atwood flying out to center her first time.
She watched a changeup go by in that first at-bat for a strike. Almost looked like maybe she would have wanted to go after that pitch. I wonder if this is a situation where she might go up there and sit an off-speed.
Jerkowski brings the heat, but it's out of the zone, and it's 2-0. Now the question is here for Michigan, you have first base empty. You have one of the most clutch hitters in the country in Reese Atwood at the plate. But on deck is Katie Stewart, who hit a 269-foot home run in her first at-bat. There's the off-speed in there for a strike. It's 2-1.
Now 2 batters in a row where she's pumped in that changeup on a 2-0 count, on a hitter's count, anticipating maybe they're gearing up for the fastball or for those high-velocity rise balls. We've only made it to the 3rd inning, and I'm already talking about sitting changeups.
Usually you wait till the 5th inning for that, but what will Jerkowski bring on the 2-1? She brought something Atwood wanted to swing at. It's a fly ball. It is out of here! Reese Atwood delivers again. 3-run home run, and Texas takes the lead.
Reese Atwood is batting over .450 with runners in scoring position for a reason. Go ahead and up that batting average again. This is supposed to be a curveball on the outside part of the plate, 70 miles per hour in on the hands, and she is ready for it. Gets good barrel on it on time and drives it out to center field for a 3-run shot to add to the tally on the season for Reese Atwood.
That tally now up to 18. RBI tally up to 79. 8 runs batted in already here in the Austin Regional, and it's 4-1 Longhorns. Stewart goes deep again.
Talk about executing a game plan to a T. Her last at-bat, she hit a rise ball out of the ballpark. What does she do? First pitch of this at-bat, she sits changeup. She gets one, it's in there for a strike, and she pulls it again out to left field. Another no-doubter off of the bat of Katie Stewart. Her 2nd home run in this game. And it might have been another one. That one hopped off of the building out.
Breeze blowing out to left. And elite lineup. That is a combination that's tough to beat. Oh, Langford lays down the bunt, and it's thrown down the right field line, and there's nobody in right field because of the shift. Langford at second, heading to third, being waved around. Here she comes. Here's the throw. She is safe.
Indiana Langford saw Texas go back into that shift, and Indy Langford is an elite bunter. She gets this one off of the end of the bat. It looks like she's going to be safe, even if this throw is on line. But because of the shift, because there's nobody out there in right field, the speed of Langford just hustling all the way around the bases. Bonnie Thole with no hesitation sending her from third base and tacks on another run for the Wolverines.
So it goes in the books as a single and an error on the catcher on the throw, Atwood. And Michigan gets a run to make it 5-2. Conway again swings at the first pitch, misses for strike one. One. Well, what we've learned so far today in game 1 of 3, there are different ways to round the bases here in the Austin region. You can, like we saw for Stewart, make a swing, know the second it leaves the bat that it's gone. This one's going to carry. Remember, the wind is blowing out to left, and that is gone. Janisa Conway. The launching pad is open in Austin.
This is really smart hitting by Janisa Conway. She was way out in front on the first swing of this at-bat at a changeup. Tegan Cavan comes back with a changeup in the dirt, and it looked like she flipped her game plan to go back to that high-velocity rise ball. She gets it. She's on time for it and gets that backspin and that carry out to the left center gap. And just like that, first two batters here in the bottom of the third inning, and 2 more runs on the board for Michigan.
You could tell by Conway's reaction too. I mean, she was running hard out of the box like, well, this may be a fly ball that goes deep to the wall, but it cleared the wall by plenty, just giving you an idea how it's carrying here in Austin.
And that's where, as a batter too, you can use the velocity that Cavan brings on her pitches to your advantage. You don't have to overswing to try to drive it out of the ballpark, but you can use that velocity to drive it out and get the carry, and she sure did for her 18th home run on the season.
Here's Lauren Putz, who singled her first time. Takes strike one. So after back-to-back runs, conversation in the circle for Texas to try to settle things down for the Longhorns here after they took a 5-1 lead.
I'd imagine, too, that conversation might be just with the way that the ball is carrying on those rise balls to try to pump in some more drop balls. And the first 2 pitches of this at-bat have both been those high-velocity drops.
Two and one. For Conway, her team best 18th home run of the season, team best 51st RBI, her second hit of the series. Both have been for extra base hits, double yesterday in game 1 of the regional. Fouled off, and it's 2-2. This combination, this is the Smash Sisters of the Michigan lineup.
See, between Putz and Conway, 380 batting average, 32 home runs on the season. The rest of the team with 35 home runs combined.
Just getting a piece of it at the plate, and we'll do the 2-2 again. Nasty. Cavan gets the strikeout. One away here in the third.
Another swing and miss at the changeup so far. Cavan with 4 strikeouts. 3 of those have come off of the changeup, and especially in this at-bat to Lauren Putz. With the way that changeup tunnels off of the drop ball, they have similar spins on them, and they move in a similar direction, and she's way out in front on that swing.
Ella Stevenson was the first of 4 strikeout victims for Michigan here today against Cavan. Activity in the Texas pen as Citlali Gutierrez gets loose.
Citlali got the start in yesterday's game against Eastern Illinois.
On a day where the temperature is going to continue to creep up to the mid-90s, forecast high 96 today. It's going to be challenging, 110 in the sun on the field right now. It's in there for a strike, 3-1. Fouled off, and the count is now full. Kavan last year in the NCAAs made 6 appearances, 5 starts, 3-1 with a sub-3 earned run average, 34 strikeouts and 29 innings of work. And opponents hit just 163 against her during that run to the Champ Series for the Longhorns in 2024. There's the changeup again, swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down. The WNBA begins their 29th season, and we'll have Caitlin Clark and the Fever hosting Angel Reese in the Sky. It's today at 3 Eastern Time on ABC, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus. Two down here in the bottom of the third. Remember, Michigan, the home team. Texas, the visitors here in Game 3 of this Austin Regional. And a swing and a miss for Valaman, who singled in a run in the first. 0-2.
Back-to-back drop balls, too. She's been locating that pitch very well. One of the pitches Coach Mike White talked to us about as well, that she needs to be able to locate it in the bottom part of that strike zone.
Grounded wide of third. That's foul ball.
At times when Kavan's missing too far low in the zone with the drop ball, those are the times where batters go up to the plate, not even worrying about that pitch if she's not able to throw it in there consistently for strikes. But today, it's been a very effective pitch for her.
Another 0-2. Another foul ball.
And another drop ball in this at-bat, too, working both sides of the plate, too.
Good battle by Valaman at the plate has spoiled a couple of good pitches. Ball one.
Really good at bat here by Valaman. She got that base hit back in the first inning, and it was on a rise ball that got in on her hands. And so far in this at bat, everything has been in the low part of the zone.
Kavan now up over 60 pitches as she works here in the third inning. And asks for time with the pitch clock winding down to make sure she's on the same page. Is into the circle now, the senior for Michigan.
Going to be a little bit of a different look and an adjustment with the timing for the Longhorns going up against Emerson Aiken. She's going to bring the ball more in the low 60s. That one coming in at 64 miles per hour.
So it's a hot day. Durkowski threw 61 pitches yesterday, made 2 appearances yesterday in the victory for Michigan. Got the start. Hain came in, got the win, and Durkowski got the save. Aiken did not make an appearance in the Big Ten tournament, so she's making her first postseason appearance of 2025 here for the Wolverines. And just her 6th appearance of the season. Be interesting to see how Bonnie Thole is playing things out here. Does she want Aiken to try to buy a few pitches here and a couple of outs with the bottom third of the Texas lineup? And it starts with a 4-pitch walk to Katie Simmons. So not off to a good start for Michigan here.
Yeah, because Michigan's combination of using Durkowski and Hain within the same ball game has been their go-to plan, and now bringing in Emerson Aiken to see what she can do. Maybe she can get them to mishit some of these balls, but she's got to be able to throw strikes in there against this Texas lineup.
Feels like they're trying to get a bridge to Hain in that 5th inning, right? Here we are in the 4th. Hain might be a little early. This is not an elimination game, but you want to just do all you can to get to that 2-0 record. But right now, Hain is in the dugout and not in the bullpen.
Lily Valamont coming out to call time just to chat with Emerson Aiken after 6 balls in a row now. Also, pitching coach Jen Brundage going to come out and have a conversation with her battery as well. Maybe just to try to settle things down a bit. She'll throw a little bit of everything. She does have that drop ball, the curve ball, the rise ball that she'll throw in there. It's just about commanding the zone, throwing strikes, and a couple more arms in that Michigan bullpen getting loose.
Regan Bennett is on the right, and Haley Ferguson on the left. So feels like bullpen by committee to try to get Michigan through this 4th inning. Durkowski will be at the ready. She'll cool down, and we saw yesterday Bonnie Thole bring her back into the game. This is a fly ball, foul ground, long run for the right fielder. Stevenson can't get there. It's 2-1 now to Leanne Good.
Now, yesterday was the first time in this postseason that Durkowski has re-entered back into the game that she has started and just came in for those 3 pitches. 3 pitches, 3 straight changeups, and
ball
the
game
4th
over.
strikeout of the game. Her line today, 46 pitches in those 3 innings, 5 earned runs, just the 1 strikeout today.
Good lays down a beautiful bunt. Everyone's going to be safe. Longhorns can play a little small ball. We know they can hit the long ball, whatever it takes to turn that lineup over.
Great execution of this bunt, too, to be able to get it right off of the end of the bat. You see how the corners are playing a little bit deep. Deadens it right in front of home plate to where Maddie Erickson just doesn't even have a chance to make a play over at first base.
So time called here. Bonnie Thole came out to talk to the plate umpire, Chelsea Clark, who will bring the entire crew together for a conversation here. Well, the first thing that comes to mind here would be, well, was Good out of the runner's lane heading down to first base.
Yep.
Here's an announcement.
The ruling on the field is that the batter did not interfere with the box. Michigan is challenging that calling. We're going to review.
All right, so when Good laid down the bunt, was she in the way of the catcher
Trying to make a
Valamont?
play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Lays down this bunt. Doesn't look like any interference to me. She gets right out of that box, puts the bunt down, even throws the bat out of the way too.
Now she's inside the line as she goes down. This has been a bit of a gray area at times.
Yeah, with the batter-runner interference running down the baseline, because the runner's lane is on the other side of foul territory. Doesn't look like she hit the ball either. That's another thing to look for to see if she made contact as she was running out of the batter's box. But there was no throw, no attempt on a throw even being made down the first baseline.
Replay reviews being handled at centralized review in Pittsburgh. So a couple of the umpires go off the field. They'll be in communication with Pittsburgh. They are reviewing the play there right now. They'll make the call, and then we'll get the announcement here.
Just want to double check here just to make sure that that bunt did not hit her as she was running out of the box. Yeah, not even close to hitting her there.
Yeah, it almost looked like, too, she pulled her hands back in that split second as she got rid of the bat, too, maybe.
Doesn't hit the bat twice, doesn't hit her.
She was aware of it.
Not in the way of the catcher.
Now, the fact that she's inside the line, you know, should Michigan have made a throw there? Because then that changes how the play could be called, correct?
Yes, yeah, because especially as the runner gets closer and closer to first base, if the umpires were to determine that the batter runner interfered with the throw or being able to complete that play down the first baseline if they were inside of fair territory.
One thing that could help eliminate that discussion is implementing the safety base. They're using it in college baseball now. It feels like it should be something. Its time has come here in softball. From the conversations we've had, it really needs to start from the NCAA level and then work its way down, because conferences and coaches don't want to use it in the regular season if it's not going to be used in the postseason.
After review, the ball hit the batter while still in the box. Foul ball.
Wow, I did not see.
Okay, I
let's
did
look
not
in
see
the box.
that.
We were looking outside the box, so let's check again.
Well, I thought we were checking too to see if it hit her when she was in the box, and I didn't think that it did hit her. Let's see. Take another look at it here. Let's see if this ball changes directions. I didn't think that it did.
No. Oh, she got her.
Oh, the pinky.
Her left pinky got out. Oh, I didn't see that. I think there's now. Is it conclusive? I don't know about that, but yeah.
Because when we were watching it the first time, I just thought that that was the direction of the ball kicking off of the dirt.
Well, there's no doubt about this one. This is a hard hit to right field, and the right fielder bobbles it, but holding up at second base is Simmons. Well, I think on closer review, it did look like it hit her pinky, but so good challenge by Bonnie Thole, and then all of a sudden it's a hard hit to right. So a pinch runner here for Texas, as Adea Wallace will come on and run for Simmons.
And if you're Leanne Good, you're going to take the base hit, right? Still the same result, still 2 runners on board with nobody away.
I think Leanne knew, too, because she hustled back. You know, she was in that headspace of like, well, I'm going to have to go back here because I think they're going to get it in Pittsburgh to turn it around. I did not see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it initially, just that pinky, though. Yeah, I thought that was just the spin in the direction of the ball kicking off of the dirt, but it did hit that pinky.
Strike 1 to Bennett with 2 on and nobody out here in the 4th. And one thing that lengthy review helped perhaps is just Aiken to take a moment on this hot day. That's in the dirt. Texas had a little trouble on the base pass yesterday in round 1. And it looked for a moment like Leanne Good was ready to take second base, but Wallace in front of her wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision on the base paths for the Longhorns yesterday. Getting caught in between, getting caught in rundowns.
Bennett popped it up. This is going to be close, and it's into the stands. 1-2 to Bennett, who reached on an error and was caught stealing in the 3rd. First 2 aboard for Texas here in the 4th. Simmons with the walk, Good with the single. 1-2 to Bennett. Emerson Aiken ready with the 2-2. Hit deep to right. That one is gone! Another Texas home run! 3-run shot. Katie Bennett, just her 2nd home run of the season. And the Longhorns are up by 5.
It just feels like every single part of this Texas offense is firing on all cylinders. Katie Bennett, who we saw slapping earlier today with that error over at third base, slapped earlier in this at bat, and decides to go up there and just crushes this pitch, turns on it and drives it, uses her legs and drives that ball out to right field. A 3-run shot, and now the Longhorns have the 8-3 lead.
This is out in front of the plate. 3 Wolverines converge on it, but no one can make a play to get the speedy Maloney, who's aboard for the second time today.
Another really nice bunt that's laid down by Texas, too, and especially right after that home run. That's the combination of the long ball and the small ball that you're going to see throughout this Longhorns lineup.
And it's just keeping pressure on. That's what they want to do. They just want to keep the pressure turned up at the plate, and that's what they're doing right now. Strike one to Caden Henry. Oh, 0-2 to Henry. Popped out in the first, doubled and scored in the third. That is Katie Bennett's first home run this season since March 8th against Merrimack. She's someone who struggled through an 0-for-29 slump late in the season. That slump didn't end until the final series of the regular season against Kentucky. Henry, one hop to Langford, the backhand over to second. A little bit of a bobble there, and out is called. Mike White has stepped onto the field, and the second base umpire says on the transfer